What's happening YouTube? Back with another video. This time we're talking footsteps. People complaining about audio seems to be popping up everywhere, from stream chat to social media, even shorts and VODs about the issue. Personally, since fine tuning my settings, I haven't had any issues, and I'm here to share the best current settings with you in my opinion, so that you can have a competitive edge over your opponents out in the battlefield. Let's get into it. Now, starting at the top, audio mix is a biggie. This does need to be set to headphone based boost if you are running a headset. Of course, if you're not using a headset, select the option which is relevant to your setup, but in terms of headphones, you must be using bass boost. Now, the reason for this is that it is going to boost those sounds that are at a lower frequency, such as footsteps, loot boxes, etc. So we definitely want to take advantage of that. In terms of your master volume, I would recommend that most players should be running this at the full 100%. The only reason I have set mine to 80% is purely because of my stream and for the sake of my chat being able to hear my teammates and have an overall nice balance of audio on the stream. I do also control a lot of audio with my Go XLR, which is a very handy piece of kit for a streamer. However, if you do play Call of Duty and you're not a streamer, definitely get this whacked up to full. Now, for music volume, I would recommend to have this off altogether. If you do enjoy the music in the lobby, then at most I would set this to 10. However, that would purely just be for a little bit of background noise. Apart from that, it doesn't actually provide any value whatsoever, so my recommend would be to just turn it off. Before dialogue volume, you do definitely want to have some dialogue in there so that you can hear the in-game operators calling out important things. For example, sometimes when you get shot, you may shout out that you've been hit, and that may give your teammates just that little bit extra information to let you know that there was an enemy that they may not have known there. Now, no doubt, they could be the other side of Al Mazrah with a sniper sitting in a window, but it may just save your life. Now, effects volume is pretty key when it comes to audio, as this directly affects all the in-game effects, including footsteps themselves, so this needs to be maxed out if you want those ultimate crispy footsteps that are nice and loud and clear in your ear. In terms of your hit marker volume, you do definitely again want to have some sort of audio cue when you're hitting your target, but you don't want to drown out potential sound that's round about you by having this set too high. Now, what I mean by that is if you happen to down an enemy which is slightly further away and you're trying to get your finish, those hit marker sounds are going to be going off in your ear. However, you may have somebody from that team pushing you on your right hand side, and having the hit marker volume set too high may mean that you miss those audio cues to let you know that somebody is pushing you, and before you know it, you may not even get your finish and you will be off to the gulag. Now, of course, your speakers or headphone game sound device kind of goes without saying. You just want to set this to the device that you want to be able to hear the game through. So I'll leave that up to yourselves. Now, this next setting is probably the most important one on this screen and in this video. And setting this incorrectly, setting mono audio incorrectly, will have you spinning around like this little guy looking for your enemies. Now, if you don't know what mono audio is, essentially it does give you a description here on the right hand side, but to keep it simple for you, if you choose to have mono audio on, you're telling the game that you want to combine both your left and right audio channels into one and hear the same sounds in both ears. Now, that's great for a game that potentially you want a little bit of atmosphere, but for first person shooters, you definitely want to have this turned off. The reason for that is it's going to then split and keep those audios separate, so therefore if something's happening on your left hand side, you will hear that in your left ear, and if something's happening on your right hand side, you will hear that in your right ear. Now, I've talked about the importance of pre-aiming in both Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 in a previous video. This allows you to be able to pre-aim a lot more accurately and a lot earlier, and that's going to help you win so many gunfights when you're out in the battlefield. So definitely get that mono audio turned off. When it comes to subtitles are optional, and they can sometimes prove useful. For example, if you happen to miss the dialogue that's in-game, you always have that hard copy at the bottom of your screen, but personally I find them a little bit distracting and therefore I choose not to play with them. However, if you do find them beneficial, I would recommend not having them on anything other than default or all on, and for subtitle size I would definitely keep that at default, just so that it doesn't take up too much of your screen and just give you another distraction with everything else that's going on. It's definitely something that you can do without, but as I said, my personal preference is to turn these off completely, so it's one less thing to worry about. Now, the last setting I want to share with you within the Modern Warfare 2 settings themselves is voice chat volume. Now, this is more specifically for Warzone. With the introduction of proximity chat, you do need to consider what level your voice chat volume is sitting at. Now, the reason for that is because some people out there have absolutely terrible mics, and the last thing that you need whilst trying to fight a 1v4 is the noise of some enemy's TV blasting the latest Cocomelon nursery rhyme at you. So setting this at 10, I've found to be the sweet spot for being able to clearly make out what your opponents are saying in proximity chat, but whilst not being too overpowering that you're missing other audio cues going round about you, such as doors opening below you, or an enemy rushing you on your right or your left hand side. Of course, there are some other factors that you should consider changing out with Modern Warfare 2. If you have a set of Astros like me with the mix amp, there could be some fine tuning to be done in the software to get a little more out of them. Similarly, I do know that a lot of players use Adobe Atmos, and again, tinkering with some settings in there could give you that little bit more of a boost as well. Now, essentially, that is all that I have for you on audio. My experience of Warzone 2 has totally flipped since I implemented these settings. If you enjoyed the content, then please drop it a little like, and when, not if, you start picking up more kills because of your audio, make sure you come back to this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Till the next one, peace.